everyone, and welcome back to Path of Exile 2. In this video, I'm sharing my Huntress Amazon leveling build. One I've tested across multiple setups to get a better feel for Huntress skills. And I've found a combo I really like. This build offers amazing mobility, great repositioning, and solid damage. Plus it has the potential to evolve into a strong, late-game option. Why? Because it lets you generate frenzy charges, automatically consume them, and infuse your weapon with lightning while also boosting AoE damage through Storm Lance. Let's dive in! Firstly, at this stage of the game, gear options are limited, so the build focuses mainly on skills, supports, and the passive tree. Now, let's get into the important part, the skills and how the setup works together. The main skill I'm using is Storm Lance. It throws a spear into the ground, and that spear fires lightning bolts at nearby enemies. On its own, the damage is not decent, but it gets way stronger when it consumes a frenzy charge, which turns it into a high AoE burst. To support Storm Lance, I'm using Primal Armament, Martial Tempo, and Electrocute. Electrocute is what helps us start building frenzy charges, but keep in mind, you'll need to be a certain level to unlock it and get it ready. If you're not there yet, just run without the charge loop for now and add it in later. Also, if you're still at early stage and can't build Electrocute, you may support its buildup in the passive tree. Now, for movement, clear speed, and our main DPS skill, I'm using Thunderous Leap. It gives us great repositioning, and more importantly, if you land directly on your Storm Lance spear, it creates a big AoE burst. I'm supporting it with Shocking Leap, which creates shocking ground when you critical hit, Pursuit for bonus melee damage after dealing projectile damage, which we're doing with Storm Lance, and Fist of War, which gives a big slam every 6 seconds that really helps against tankier packs. There's also Elemental Sundering, which triggers an explosion by consuming shock, and it adds a lot of damage if timed right. And I am supporting it with Hit and Run to add more skill speed, and Magnified Effect for more area of effect. To buff all of this, I'm running Herald of Thunder, supported by Lightning Infusion for 25% more lightning damage, Concentrated Effect for more area damage, and Longshot, which boosts damage to faraway enemies by 30%. And to keep the frenzy loop going, I'm using Combat Frenzy, which gets triggered thanks to Electrocute. That's supported by Profusion, so we can gain more charges quickly, and Precision, which boosts our overall damage across the board. And if you ever need a backup, you can throw in Primal Strikes and support it with Rage and Crescendo for some extra burst in boss fights or tight spots. And finally, if you still have Spirit left to spend, I recommend using Wind Dancer. It gives you a really nice boost to evasion, which adds solid survivability. To make the most out of it, I suggest supporting Wind Dancer with Blind to reduce enemy hit chance even more, and Maim, which slows enemies and gives you more control in close range engagements. Once you've progressed far enough and picked up some points in your Ascendancy, you'll unlock the Elemental Infusion passive. And when you do, you'll notice it actually grants you a new active skill. It's easy to overlook, but don't miss it. This skill can give you a serious damage boost, and just like any other, you can support it with gems. I personally link it with Bullseye for plus 50% accuracy rating, Ambush for a guaranteed 100% crit chance against enemies on full life, which is great for opening bursts, and Conduction to ensure a 100% chance to shock. This setup ramps up your damage early in every fight and fits perfectly into the lightning-infused playstyle of this build. Now, let's go over the Ascendancy points I've taken so far. The first one I grabbed was Critical Strike, which gives a solid boost to our crit chance. Really helpful early on. Then I took Elemental Infusion, which is one of the core pieces of this build. It consumes our frenzy charges to infuse our weapon with lightning, and that synergizes perfectly with Storm Lance and all our other lightning-focused skills. And that wraps up the points I've taken so far. As I keep progressing, I'll definitely be testing the other Amazon nodes, especially Penetrate and Stalking Panther. But at this stage, the combo I have is performing really well and keeps the build fast, responsive, and fun to play. And now, before we check the passive tree points together, if you're enjoying this build so far or found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and keeps the PoE2 content coming. Also, feel free to join our Discord community. We're already sharing builds, testing ideas, and helping each other as we explore the new league together. You'll find the link in the description below. Alright, now let's take a look at the passive tree points I've chosen so far and how they tie everything together. I started by picking up Primal Instinct. And since this build mixes both projectile and melee interactions, I picked Stalk and Leap, which support that hybrid style really well. It gives you a solid damage scaling. From there, I moved toward Escape Velocity, which boosts movement speed and evasion, making the build feel much smoother to play while helping survivability. After that, I grabbed Falcon Technique to ramp up attack speed, followed by Enhanced Reflexes for more evasion and dexterity, both of which synergize really well with our scaling. On the crit path, I went into the Critical Strike cluster, picking up Heartbreaking Strike and Heart Stopping to push our critical hit potential further. Very effective when paired with our burst mechanics like Thunderous Leap and Elemental Infusion. I also went across to grab Falcon Dive, which converts accuracy rating into attack speed, giving us even more speed while benefiting from dex stacking. Finally, I picked up some of the spear nodes, including Javelin, which increases crit damage with spears, great for enhancing skills and making those bursts hit even harder. Along the way, you'll also come across 2 jewel sockets, and at this stage of the game, we don't really have the luxury of picking ideal jewels. So I just used whatever helpful stats I could find. Feel free to do the same. Don't stress too much about optimization this early. Just plug in whatever gives you a slight edge and keep moving forward. Now let's quickly talk about gear. Though to be honest, at this stage, there isn't much you can specifically target. The reality is, we just don't have the flexibility to chase perfect stats or specific affixes right now. So the approach I followed is simple. I used whatever decent gear I could find or afford, prioritizing just a few key things. The first priority is movement speed boots. They make a huge difference in clear speed and feel. After that, I looked for Spirit on armor, just to help with skill usage and sustain. Other than that, it's really just about grabbing whatever has some evasion, resistances, or life, whatever keeps you alive and moving forward. Don't worry about min-maxing right now. The gear will come later. Just focus on progressing, getting your links set up, and keeping your resistances capped when you can. Now, let's talk about how to actually use the build during gameplay. And it's super smooth once you get the rhythm. Start by casting Storm Lance up to 3 times, placing your spears in front of or around enemies. Then, simply jump onto them using Thunderous Leap, and that's where the magic happens. Landing on the spears will trigger a big AoE burst, and at the same time, you'll start generating frenzy charges and infusing your weapon with lightning, thanks to Elemental Infusion. Your next Storm Lance cast will consume any leftover frenzy charges, making those lightning strikes hit even harder. And don't forget, Thunderous Leap isn't just for offense. It's also a great tool to dodge big hits, escape bad situations, or reposition quickly, especially during boss fights or sudden explosions. Also, from time to time, use Elemental Sundering. It will consume the shock and electrocute ailments you've applied to enemies, triggering a huge explosion that helps with fast clearing and finishing off packs. Keep this loop going, stay mobile, and you'll be zapping through enemies in style. Now let's talk a bit about my future plans for the build as I progress further into the campaign and endgame. Once I have more flexibility in my passive points and gear, I'm planning to explore penetration nodes, especially if I manage to stack more accuracy rating, which should scale really well with our attack-based lightning damage setup. I'm also strongly considering taking Stalking Panther since it gives a huge boost to evasion, which means more survivability and works great alongside Wind Dancer if you're using it. Further down the line, I might also look into acrobatics, depending on how the build evolves and what defensive layers I feel I still need. But for now, this setup is doing great. I've been able to clear most of the campaign smoothly with very few deaths, and the synergy between damage and mobility feels really good. As the league continues and I fine-tune the setup with better gear and passive choices, I'll definitely come back with a full build guide once everything is stable. And that's it for today's video. I hope you found this Huntress Amazon leveling build helpful, whether you're just getting started or looking for something fun and effective to carry you through the early campaign. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got more PoE2 builds, updates, and league content coming soon. Also, if you want to ask questions, share your own build, or just hang out with other players, feel free to join our Discord. The link is down in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.